And this, what we were talking about, brings up one, I've got 4 things I wanted to talk about, but the one major thing was the recent tragedy in Harts and our lack of cell service. Now, everybody in Harts is highly, highly upset about what happened, because by the grace of God, you know, the boy was able to get out there and get a half-a-bar signal to get a hold of 911. But we have got to get cell service. There is no cell service from Big Creek in Chapmanville all the way to the Fall Creek curve. We pay taxes. There's a tower out there. We deserve cell service. You call over here to Hamlin and you talk to somebody and they say, well, I'll call you back on your cell phone. And then we say, well, we don't have cell service. Well, we have it here in Hamlin. Well, we don't have it here in Harts. We don't have it in Harts. Michael knows. There's accidents occurs all the time. Somebody's got to run down the road and get somebody else to call. That's precious time. And I'm not saying that that time could have helped the 2 accident victims that we just had. But it is on people's minds hot and heavy now. They've done, I think Thomas did a petition. I don't know what happened to that. I mean, I don't know who it went to. But I don't understand in this day and age why we do not have cell service. And I was going to ask the people in McCorkle, do you all have cell service over there where you live? You said no.
In some places.
In some places.
In some areas you don't have, you will have.
Comes and goes, you know.
Well,
It's different. I work in that area too. I know sometimes I go to Signal, sometimes I don't. And I can't keep track of where it all is. But what in the world do we have to do to get it?
Well, I tell you, Lisa, whatever, if you can figure it out, and you let me know and I'll do it. I mean,
Well,
you know, this is something.
who got it for West Hamlin? Who got the tower down at West Hamlin?
It's a private investment. Cell service are private companies, and they look at it and do surveys, and they determine, is this a good investment? It's like with any investment. So we've talked to AT&T. We even took them to the tower, took 2 people out to the tower in Harts, and took pictures and all that stuff. But they just look at you and say, well, we'll take it back, we'll look at it, and it's a matter of whether it's a paying profit thing. It's all that matters to them. It's not emergency, it's not convenience, it's how much can I make on my investment. That's all it comes down to.
Well, everybody in Harts has a cell phone. You know, they just can't use it in the area.
I know.
I mean, could you get those people to come down and maybe have a community meeting?
I don't know. We had them out we took them out to the tower site.
Well, I know, but they need to talk to the people.
Well,
and I think that would make a big difference.
And the petitions that Thomas and others have, we've had 2, I think, that we send them, and, but to the providers, and where they go, I don't know. We send.
Well, see, I don't know either, and I don't know what I can do as a private citizen to get somebody off their hind end and get the job done.
Just keep yakking, I guess.
So, but who do you talk to? I mean, it just seems like it's the big runaround. I mean, Alan Holder's been here talking about it. I didn't get no sense out of what he said about it.
Just like out here, Hamlin has service. Down 34, there's service, but there's a section of 34 to get the subway out here. There is no service. And as you go down towards Griffithsville, there's no service to get to top of out on the mountain in Samarica.
Right.
But they came in 3 years ago when Commissioner Steyer's still sitting here and signed a contract with him, a 5-year agreement, that they were going to put a tower at Griffithsville on some property he owned. And he just had me looking at it one day, and there's still no tower there because they haven't decided that's a good investment. They've got a lease on that property pending, you know, pay him so much for a 5-year holding, and but there's still people call me and say, you know anything about that up there? And I hadn't heard a word, but and we won't unless they come in and say we're going to do a building permit to put a tower there. Then we'll know they're going to do something.
Mr. McCann, may I say something? Right there, most people know where I live, there is a big tower on the hill. Down at West Hamlin School, there's another big tower.
Yes.
But guess what? I've got to go to the top of West Hamlin Hill to get cell service. Because they got a tower, there's no time you're going to get a signal.
I thought he was going to tell us that he got those towers when he was
No.
I was going to say, how'd you get that tower?
No. There's 2 there.
Well, and they did what he did West Hamlin. They had one, and they replaced it and put what I was told, anyways, to what Alan Holder told me. They put actually 2 smaller towers that had less power, but they were supposed to get better service in that very vicinity, but there are some dead spots over there.
There are.
Well, before that Hatfield McCoy thing goes through, somebody better be thinking about getting a cell
Well,
phone
that's
tower in
been,
that
that's
area,
been,
big
that's
time.
a concern for sure.
So, also, you know, if the Hatfield McCoy thing goes through too, there is a road by the Big Ugly Community Center that shortcuts over to Mud River that probably needs to be looked at to be open, so in case there are accidents, that way the Mud River Fire Department could get there, they'll be able to get there before the Harts Fire Departments will. If that road would be opened for emergencies, you know. So that's something else that needs to be talked about. Because right now, it's pretty much blocked, my understanding, or it's so rough that you can't take vehicles. You can't- That road right by the grade school at Big Ugly, I don't know the name of it. I think they call it Rock House.
911 changed it all, so I'm
I
not
know,
sure.
exactly.
But I know,
So,
now, the last time I was across that road, and I was
yes.
on a four-wheeler,
How was it?
I was praying, so
It was bad.
it's pretty bad.
That's what I've heard. It's been bad for a long
I'm
time.
not saying it couldn't be fixed,
But, you
but
know, it does, that would be, I
Well, it
mean,
is. It is.
safety, that would get, they can be there a lot quicker than the time the people from Harts can get over
Right.
that mountain and get there and everything. Okay, well,
What else you got?
anything we can do about getting cell service, I'll be happy about. Okay, who's over the sanitation systems in Lincoln County? Who's the sanitation director?
It's the health department, I can't remember the man's name right now.
Well, we have two big issues in Harts. One is at the new school. Parents are complaining about that smell of the sewer. I guess it's an aerator system. And the other one's at Ray Smith's Exxon, the one stop. You can't hardly stand to get gas there for the fumes. So somebody, I mean,
If you go up to the health department and talk to Jimmy Casdorf,
Jimmy Kasdorf. Okay.
don't tell him I gave his name.
Well, if he's a public official,
But he is pretty responsible.
so he's over the actual sanitation stuff.
He is a sanitary.
Jimmy Kasdorf. Okay. All right. And the other question is, I hear McCorkle talk about you all have monthly meetings with your community center,
Right.
correct? You post those meetings?
It's on 2 web pages, the Boone and the Logan, and it's on everything.
I think y'all have flyers there.
Yeah.
I've seen flyers to stores. The Harts Community Center apparently does not have monthly meetings.
At one time they did.
Well, it's been a long, long time, because I had a man tell me that he went and had a meeting, and that was the first time they'd had one in 6 months. So there's issues up there, and if they're having public meetings, they need to be publicly posted, because the community needs to go. And I don't know, Michael, have you had a chance to go to any?
the one I was gonna go to was the Crime Watch, and I didn't
Well,
make
the
it.
Crime Watch and the community center are two different groups.
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, as far as, I was gonna go to that one,
Mhm,
and, but I spoke to Harold Cook after that,
mhm.
which I was gonna talk about in a minute, but, about the concern of the Crime Watch pulling out or whatever, but he told me that everything was taken care of, that they were staying in the building. As far as a public meeting, I
Haven't had
haven't been in
one.
one in it's been a long time. Cause I know,
And our-
it may have been 3 or 4 years, I don't know how long it has been, it's been a long time.
Nobody in Harts knows about them. So,
When I
I mean, are you,
first,
is the commission over those boards?
We appoint him.
Well, I mean, could you write them a letter, tell them
I'll make a note here.
to maybe post the public meetings so people in the community would know?
I would agree it could be run more efficient.
I'm sorry, what, Mr. Cook?
It could be ran more efficient.
Well, and I told you before, from the Crime Watch meeting, that the ceiling was falling in the gym. So, just to let you know that. And the other question is, and this is my last one, I heard you mention Harts High School. What's the word about Aytonville grade school? Are you all trying to obtain that building?
The Board of Education discussed it Tuesday night,
Uh-huh.
and they talked about the Hearts building as well, the middle school. But the superintendent said that the other schools had been asked to go through the Aytonville building and see is there any stuff they wanted to take. And I think that has been completed, but they still haven't decided what they're going to do next.
Well, they've come and took buildings and they've took some other stuff.
Yeah, they've taken the portables and some other stuff from inside, and that's done, but they still they're still trying to figure out what to.
We've sent a letter expressing what the commission would like, but we have not any discussion.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to speak at this time on commission concerns?